Hi, everyone. I'm Ken Rutkowski. That's Sandy Grigsby. And hey, we are hanging out for the next hour to talk about everything from personal development to what's going on with life and technology. What the heck is Clubhouse?
Exactly.
My gosh, how many Clubhouse invites are you getting on a regular basis? I think everyone has become so zoomed out, like right now.
They'll do anything.
Well, they don't want to be seen anymore. They want to go back to the idea of a conference call so you don't have to do your hair. You don't have to, I mean, you wake up like this.
Yeah, well, you know.
This is her normal. It's like, gosh, why do you look so,
next to my curling iron?
like, why are you so messy this morning? Look at her. This is normal. But I think people they still want community and connection, but they want a platform. And right now, I think Clubhouse now.
And they don't have to do the right thing here all the time. Guys, you too.
Yeah, it's $1 billion company now, the evaluation for Clubhouse, $1 billion, which is pretty amazing. It's just $1 billion. But today we're going to talk about relationships and checking where you are when it comes to your relationship with people around you, as well as, of course, if you have a significant other in your life, or when you're ready to get one of those in your life, the things you got to make sure you're checking over and over again. Now, I have to tell you something. Sandy does not know the list I made.
No.
She doesn't.
He keeps it a secret.
I keep it a secret because I think it's a good dialogue that we even go through the process to challenge ourselves. We're still in a very new relationship. We've been together a little over 2 years. And I asked Simon Mannering and his wife, because they've been married 20 years. And Simon goes, I've been shagging the same girl for 20 years. And I go, all right, since you've been with the same girl for 20 years, I asked her, of all that sex, percentage-wise, how much of it was great? Right? She said more than 85%.
Well,
that's pretty impressive, I think, right?
She's nice.
Or she lies.
Right? Yeah, what does all the time mean?
Yeah, what's all the time? I mean, but still, that's impressive. I just found out that we have a couple of 40-plussers here when it comes to relationships. Angie's been with her husband 40 years? 43 years? 42 years. And Alan's been with his wife more than 40 years.
38 years.
Now it's dropped down. And Jennifer's got the biggest class in the world. Did you just get that in Cabo San Lucas?
I'm just
my God, that's like
my fingers.
So
from the kitchen.
Jennifer, I got the big teacup.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's it say?
I'm 99% unicorn.
Mine says, love more, worry less.
Yeah, he does have pink on his cup because that's all we could find.
Yeah, it was it. As we're sitting here in Dubai.
We're looking for mega cups because we don't like those sippy cups of tea, and this is all we could find.
Oh, by the way, so we moved to a new area, which is called the Marina, which so Dubai is broken up into different areas, just like Los Angeles or Johannesburg. And where we're at is the expat part.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like being in California.
It is. I mean, it's like the Marina.
Minus the homeless people. Minus the dirt.
Yeah, minus the dirt.
Minus the smells.
Smells and cold weather.
Minus that too.
And, but it's like New York meets Marina Del Rey.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Tall buildings, and there's cranes everywhere. Everywhere there's something being built. So we're in the tallest apartment complex in the world. So we will be on our friend just bought a place on the 90th floor, which is crazy, 90 floors. Oh, we were just talking
when you go to the top and you look over the balcony.
Guess who this popped in?
Hi, Mana. How are you?
Mana, I just talked about your percentage of being shagged with your husband and how much of it was good. 80%, 85% plus. That's impressive.
You're kind.
No, you have to unmute. We can't hear you. No, we don't know what you just said. Don't know what you said.
Still talking.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Last thing, by the way. So we're in this part of Dubai called the Marina, which is totally different than everywhere else. And one thing we don't notice is the Islamic side of things as much.
Yeah, in the other parts of Dubai, you see the abayas, which are the black wraps that the women wear, and you see the kandoras, which are those white dresses that the men wear. Dresses. And here you don't see that.
And we don't hear the call of prayer as much. It's harder to hear the mosques.
I haven't heard it at all.
Right, where we were before, which, by the way, I like. I even tell her, I go, I really like the call to prayer. I think it's beautiful because I know what it means now.
Yes.
Because TV made it sound so negative and all that. No, I love it. It's it's basically thanking God for beauty of the planet and the world and having life. So every time I hear it, it's almost like a reset. So I actually admire it.
But also, Dubai is much more commercialized, so the guys singing actually can sing.
They sound great. It's
You go to other countries, they're like, ah, you're like, oh.
Yeah, they sound so good. We found that there's this one mosque we went to, and they pray 24 hours in the mosque where they're singing, and they have to go through recruitment to get people that sound good. So they're all speaker friendly,
Yes.
literally speakers to sound good, which I really admire.
Yeah, but 24 hours nonstop.
Nonstop, which is great. Okay, Mono, you're gonna say what? You were flipping me off earlier.
It's past. It's come and gone. It was just a welcome. It was a deep dive. Thank you so much.
It was a deep dive. Okay, so now here we go. We're going to challenge our relationships. And again, Sandy has no idea what I put together. I'm going to challenge her since we're in a newer relationship. You guys have been married 30 years, Monas, you and Simon?
27 married and 33 together.
27 married and 33 together. Luckily, he's sitting next to me and telling me.
Yeah, it's okay. And he has his shirt off probably, doesn't he?
Oh, Ken, you suck.
All right, so we have some 40 plusers, 30.
Yep, shirt off.
Got his shirt off.
And Angie, I think you have the record of 42 years, and Angie is down in Zimbabwe, by the way. So we have Cape Town, Pretoria, Johannesburg, Los Angeles, all over the world hanging out with us. Okay, so here you go. Knowing your relationship is truly stable, and that's the key. Stable means you're still going to go through roller coaster rides, okay, without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and
What's a relationship without the roller coaster?
I think they're necessary.
Yeah, for sure.
I think if everything is blissful all the time, you're not challenging the relationship nor growing. It's stagnant. And I think the trying times are, at least for me, when I was in by the way, my last relationships, and I think we talked about the idea of falling in love 3 times in our life. We fall in love basically 3 times. We have that first love, that puppy love, the fairy tale love when we're young and it's gonna be perfect, and that never works out. The second one is that love of hard knocks. You date that person and
Sometimes
you
you have 2 or 3 of those on.
you might, right? But that's that love that really challenges you, really grows you up. And then the last love is the love of unexpected. You didn't think you're going to wind up with that person, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're with that person, and you stick. You were totally unexpected, But in that,
Yeah, that's true.
but she was.
I was
She
like,
was-
surprise!
you know, it kind of was a little like that. Yeah. So here you go. You have a 5-to-1 ratio. Ooh, what is that? Eddie, do you have a 5-to-1 ratio? And it basically means this. Does your relationship have a 5-to-1 happy versus sad times ratio? You know, it's got to be,
5 to 1.
look at Mighty Ball.
No,
What?
I would say it's more than, like, we've only gotten to 3 fights in 18 years.
Oh.
And
3
recently,
fights.
yeah, 3 fights where, like right now I'm in one, But no, we don't fight, it's just, we talk about everything, but, I mean, I'll say it, he fights depression, and that's why we're fighting right now.
Yeah, he fights depression. But Mighty Paul, you shook your head. You've known Eddie for 20 years. You've been married Eddie for 17 years. Mighty Paul, you shook your head.
No, the reason I shook my head was because I agree with what he just said. He doesn't have that 5-to-1 ratio. It's like astronomical. It's like 75-to-1.
Okay, got it. But if you're under that, if you're a 50-50, half year, and now we know couples like that, you go, why are they together? My gosh, they're bickering. Jennifer, you and Deepak, 5-to-1 at least. Yeah? Is it working for you?
Yeah, it's working pretty well. We did the first, because we're at 6 months, so we did the first, I say 3 to 6 months was our work hard and like, okay, we got stuck on something that kept repeating, and then like how to talk about it. And then the commitment came in right before 6 months. Like, okay, we're not leaving. We're here to solve the fights. And then every conversation has been.
It's been moving forward.
Yeah.
Good. But even in your relationship with your business partners, I want you to challenge yourself and ask the question, in my work, do I have a 5-to-1 where we're moving forward and maybe one step back? because you can't have 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. You're not moving forward at all in a relationship, any relationship. Did you have any business relationships? You know, you and I talked about your assistants of the past.
Yes.
And there was a lot of movement at the very beginning, the first 1 or 2 months. And then after,
Amazing. And then
yeah, so at what point in time do you say, I got to cut and run? I got to stop what's going on? Because I think emotionally in relationships, we go, oh, maybe there's a chance. Women say, oh, maybe I can change him to be better. And I'm going to see if I can do this. And there's got to be a point to where you say, there's just too much bad to move forward. You're shaking your head, Mona. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's exactly right. And everybody has their threshold. Some people are like, listen, I need things to be at least an 8 out of 10 or I'm out of here, you know, and other people are like, you know what? I'll take a 4 out of 10. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So everybody has a certain tolerance level. I mean, it is that, right? What are you getting from it? They're getting something from it. It depends what need is being met.
So once you
That's so
know
true.
if you have a less than 4 to 1, I'd say 5 to 1 is really the number. 5 to 1, if it's less and less, then you need to really reevaluate that relationship, personal and professional. You have to, because if you're going through, I had an amazing business partner when I started my radio show, amazing. And like Sandy, the first couple of months, actually for me, it was the first 2 years were great. Then it started getting worse, worse, and worse. And I had asked myself, was the money I was going to make, which was substantial, worth the negativity of the relationship? And I felt it wasn't worth it. So I had to cut and run. And actually, Sammy, who just popped on, she was part of that business relationship with my last partner. I had to cut and run because it was too dangerous. By the way, Bali in the house. Sammy's joining us from Semiac, Bali. Woo! Hello, girl. What's going on?
Hey, Ken, how's it going? Hi, Sandy.
Hi. I think though in business relationships versus personal relationships, there is a bit of a difference. Some business relationships, you can't really control the other person or what they do, or you can't make adjustments to the way you're treating them to get them to be different, depending what the motivation is in mind. But when it comes to personal relationships, you can also adjust the way that you're behaving because there might be things that you're actively doing that's triggering your partner and they might not have dealt with it and vice versa. So if you know what the triggers are and you know how to navigate within that realm of the triggers, you're not going to have so much conflict. And then you can decide if that relationship works for you. But ultimately, you have to decide what are your boundaries, what are you going to put up with, and what you want out of that relationship. And some people have such low confidence, low self-worth, don't value themselves, that they're going to tolerate much worse than another person who has higher confidence and values themselves more.
When we started dating, I'm going to tell you what I don't want in a relationship.
I knew
she was
very well.
right away. She literally put like a contract in front of me going, if you check any of these boxes, we're going to have to
tickle me.
How refreshing. Did
What
you
was that?
find that refreshing?
I knew the parameters, or I knew what I had to be better at that I was bad at. And I think maybe it's my age. If I was 25 and someone put that in front of me, I go, fuck, I'm out of here, right?
That's why I wouldn't date a 25-year-old.
Yeah, I know that.
I didn't even when I was 25.
But I think age mattered because you knowing what you wanted and the parameters made it a lot easier to work within those parameters. Yeah. Right? I agree. Okay, this one is not going to apply to your business partner. You feel comfortable during sex.
Well, for some people, it does apply to their business partner.
No.
I'm just saying.
In a relationship, could you imagine? And you probably have. I've had those. My first wife. It was not what I enjoyed. It's like, hey, we're gonna have sex. Like, oh no, what's on cable? Oh, I got a headache. I was the one faking it. Oh, I did. What? We're not even naked. Yeah, I don't know how it happened. What? It was horrible.
You just admitted that. That's so good.
It was horrible. I think you have the intimacy of sex and feeling comfortable is vital, don't you?
Oh yeah, it's so vital. I think so. Some people don't. I guess in arranged marriages, they're like, let's be together for 40 years. But
which
for me,
blows
it's
my mind.
important.
And we meet a lot of arranged marriages here, and they're working, but they don't communicate well with their wives out
Oh
here.
no.
It's a different type. They're
The
almost
wife is like she's
They're the
like the
baby
sofa
machine.
at home.
she's the size of a sofa here, by the way. I just
She
want to let you
is
know.
the sofa, not the.
Oh,
No, you stop. You.
just saying. Wow.
Be nice.
There's a health club out here. You should join it. Just saying. But
Yeah, and she's had like 18 children.
not just her, many. Okay, but have you been in relationships where sex was so uncomfortable, but the guy was good?
Yes,
What happened?
I broke up with him.
Because the sex was bad, or
well,
because
there were other things. The sex was just one part because it was the intimacy. It wasn't there. There was a disconnect. So that one part was telling on other parts.
and in the gay side of things, Eddie, I mean, you're a dude. How important is the sex side? Is it really important?
No, not really.
It's
I think
not.
just like what Sandy said, I think, the actual connection or the intimacy is more important. I mean, just like anything else. If you're not connected, you're not connected. Because if sex is bad when you're with somebody, but you love everything else, you can get better together.
That's exactly right.
But you got to
But
feel
if you're
comfortable.
not, if you're not connected, you're never gonna get past that.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Well, you were connected to the guy, weren't you?
No, because once I started diving deeper, I realized that there was a huge disconnect. Intimacy issues were
Mm.
deeper than that. It was all surface. You got to look past the surface stuff. Once you start going deep and you realize that that person really can't commit because they have some deep wounds that they haven't worked on and will never work on, you have to make a choice. I made a choice.
So sex after 30, 40 years, what's it like? Alan, sex after 40 years, is it just as fun, or you're experimenting, or what?
It's
Alan,
it's a sidebar.
it's a sidebar.
Mhm.
So is it a negotiation? Is it what is it?
It's a serendipity sets in, but with kids and grandkids and work and everything else, it's a sidebar, but there's an opportunity to delve deeper, and that's what I look forward to.
Very
So if you want to live
ambiguous.
longer, start delving.
Start
Mhm.
delving. I talked about the blue zones, right? Where people live to be over 100 years old, and Icarus, Greece, Ikaria, Greece, and Okinawa, Japan, and all these areas where people live. And those things that we saw, they had a purpose every day, waking up. I got a reason to wake up. They exercise every day.
They have a little bit of alcohol.
They had a little alcohol, which was interesting. They ate more plants and animals. They had friends, and they still, after in their 90s and 100s, still had sex,
Yeah.
which I thought was great. So Mana is 30 years into it. Sex still good? Still comfortable?
More than comfortable. I think it just gets better.
Oh,
Nice. Good answer.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. Okay. Our next one is, it doesn't seem to matter who is right. So when you're in that point of arguing,
I was waiting for it. I was like 5, 4, 3.
really,
Yes.
it does matter who's right.
Well, I don't think it matters who's right. I think it matters who thinks they're right.
How often do I say, "Yep, you're right. I get it. You're right," and I admit it. I don't want to fight about it. I might be upset that I'm wrong. But that's
Okay, so I
it.
heard a really great expression, and a lot of people have heard it, but it's like, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? This is the
There you go.
choice. You're in a relationship. You want to be right or you want to be happy? So again, there's an issue on a scale of 1 to 10. How much does it mean to you? If it's a 6 or 7, I might dig my heels in. Anything less than that, I'm like, no, you can have it. You're right. This one, you're right.
Eddie, you said you're never right.
Who thinks they're right? Exactly.
I'd rather be happy.
Yeah, exactly. Smart man.
And it's not that important for me because the home Eddie is totally different than the work Eddie. The work Eddie, I'm a control freak. The home Eddie, I'm the bitch. Like, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Now, Mighty Paul, you haven't seen your wife in 16 months, you said, or 17 months, right?
Yeah,
How do you do
but
that?
I'm gonna flip on this one because my relationship with Eddie, we don't have sex, but the great part about that and my relationship with him is based on a level of love. Like, I really love this guy. Like, between me and him, there's nothing I wouldn't do for him. And the crazy thing is when I did get married and my wife met Eddie, she understood the relationship I had with Eddie and what it was about our relationship that was unique and special. Is because from the very beginning, I trusted him with my heart, just as I did with my partner, my physical partner. When you're able to give yourself completely to somebody, you're expecting that they know what to do with who you are as a person. There's so much shit that Eddie allows me to fall flat on my face because he knows that I'll figure out how to come out of it, and he'll be there for when I do come out of it. Big difference. Now, sometimes my relationship with my wife has been difficult, and all I kept thinking was like, fuck, I wish Eddie could talk to her. I defer to, like, I'm hoping that Eddie could help. It's bizarre, but I look at it and goes, now what would Eddie say about this shit? And there are times that I get in arguments with Eddie, but our arguments are never based on anything to do with work. It's stylistic. Like, he'll look at me and goes, you were an asshole the way you talked to that person. I said, no, I wasn't. And then later on I go, yeah, I was.
No.
So true.
It's interesting because you guys do have a relationship. If you were gay, Mighty Paul, there's a good chance you and Eddie could have had something.
No. I would be straight if that was my choice.
No. It's not even that. I know for a fact he's first of all, he's too short. I like tall women.
He's a big guy. Yeah, that would actually be somewhat of a circus act between the two of you. Just saying. Okay, next one. You can see each other's perspective.
Yeah,
Right?
I think because it happens to be that you're more open-minded around your partner.
Yeah, you're open-minded. So, Emmanuel, you've been in your relationship now how many years?
4
4 years.
4 years this year.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
pretty
And
nuts.
you just adore her to pieces, don't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can you see things in the way she views it and respect that?
Yeah. I mean, 60% of the time, no, but that goes back to what you guys were just saying, right? I just say, yeah, hun, I see it. I get it. I don't. And then the other 40% of the time, yeah, I absolutely do. I mean, I eventually get it and I try and step into that shoes, but I mean, guys and women are different in their way of thinking in so many ways, right? I think guys are a lot more blasé about life. Women are a lot more thoughtful about life. And let guys have a more, if they've been raised in a feminine background, like I was raised by a woman my entire life, right? So I grew up trying to and having to be forced to get the perspective of how a woman would think when we jump on 6 different trains and you're still on train number 1,
Women have depth without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Us guys go back to the hunters and gatherers thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're basically single task. Let's get it done. The women are going, all right, let's feel everything that's going on here. And you're highly sensitive.
More empathetic.
When we're with a whole bunch of people, Sandy says, let me tell you about this, this, and this. And I always look at her, okay, what do you think? Because I don't see as deep as what she's looking at. It's true.
Okay.
So, no, you're always right on that. All right, we're moving on, guys. I know.
Smart.
Very smart man.
Guys, here's a tough
Guys,
one.
listen to this one.
Here's a tough one.
Where are you getting all these questions from? What are all these questions about?
Where am I getting all these?
Yeah.
I went and looked at a bunch of blogs last night from successful relationship coaches. and I mixed the ones that were similar across. So I looked at 100 traits, and I looked at the 100 from all of them and looked at what was similar. And that's what I did.
So you
it was-
cross-referenced and found the one, you distilled it to the essential 10.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
According
So
to-
That's
according-
like his favorite thing to do.
I do. I look at it, I have them all up there going, oh, this one's not there, that one's there. Oh, this one's same. So I use these as the cross section of that. And then like I don't tell her because,
OCD being put to good use.
oh yeah,
And then I take all of that work he collects and then I solve problems of the world.
it's true. It's so true. Okay, here's the next one. This is a challenging one. In your relationship, this is personal and professional. And I want to know if Joette's ever done this. You don't give your partner the silent treatment.
Ooh.
Look at her mouth.
I don't do that.
So you're in a fight, you're upset, you don't go. You just-
So my last marriage, I would always, like he would say things stupid like he's gonna kill me and cut me up and do
What?
this and scatter my body all over the New Mexico mountains. And I go, okay, you done? You ready to go to bed now?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't have I stopped having the energy to argue. I just stopped.
That's why he's also an ex.
Yeah, thank God, because he would have axed you if he wasn't.
I
there.
am still very close with both of my ex-husbands. They call me every week. I have a great relationship with both of my ex-husbands and ex-boyfriends. I talk to a lot of them all the time because I just have a great communication.
Oh. Andrew, how about you? Silent treatment when you're in a disagreement or a fight, do you or your wife or significant other have a silent treatment? Andrew.
It's me. Andrew.
No, there he is. Andrew.
No, no. That's a no. That's a relationship killer right there.
Right away, right?
You got to talk it out. Yeah.
So, but there's timing on this, isn't there? There's timing because in that heat of the moment, it's not necessarily the silent treatment, is it?
It's not.
Processing.
Yeah. What happens with you?
So for me, I am a thinker, believe it or not.
No, you are.
And I like to process things before I respond. So if I just respond in the heat of the moment, I'll say something that I don't mean and it'll go really south. So I've learned to process it. What I instinctually want to say, do I really mean it? And then what do I really want to say? And how can I communicate it in a way that he'll understand? So there's a processing time that goes through where I'll be silent.
It's like the supercomputer up here is processing, and then she's got to bring it down to like an old like TRS-80 computer to make it communicate to me, right?
Yep.
It's like an Apple IIe. Now
You
I'll
gotta
speak in Ken
translate
talk.
it in Ken talk. And the best part is while this processing, which is usually about 3 minutes or less, happens, Ken's like this.
What's gonna happen? Oh no!
You're ignoring me! Help me! And I'm going, and then I have to like interrupt my processing, going, I'm processing. And then it computes, and then it's all good.
Michael's going, I know and I'm not in a relationship yet, but thank God at this moment I'm not. Michael, I will make sure I post all this stuff. Okay, it'll be inside the
But
YouTube
hey,
video.
Michael, you do not want a woman who's just gonna barf her opinions and
Oh,
ideas at
God.
you without thinking about them, which happens a lot because that's where feelings get hurt and people say things that they don't mean.
And even if that does happen, I want my partner to feel heard, right? And I'm really good at like not just repeating what they're saying, but looking at the commitment and concern behind what they're saying. Because sometimes if somebody's upset, they don't even know what's going on. They just need a little translation for themselves,
Right. And hence that's why the processing works really well, because a lot of times people react based off of triggers that might have nothing to do with you.
Right.
So if Ken says something to me and I just react, blah, 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 and he's like, he's harboring that personally, thinking it has something to do with him. Well, the reaction of mine was actually from a prior relationship or a prior experience from the day. And I just barfed it on him without actually processing that it had nothing to do with him. He didn't even need to hear it. That's why I always tell people process that stuff first, because you might actually just be responding to a trigger.
I am a sensitive guy, so what you say could really affect me. Mona, I'm going to ask, Simon's a very sensitive guy also. So
Yes, it is.
you're very cunning with your words. I've seen you. They can be razor blades if you want them to be. So yes. So what do you do in the heat of this situation?
Oof. I'm pretty fiery. Oops. You know, it depends what the trigger has been. And I'd like to say that I'm always able to just calmly take it in and not raise my voice and actually hear what's really being heard and what's really being said. But sometimes no.
Aradna, how about you?
Mighty Paul.
Oh, Mighty Paul. Wait, Mighty Paul first, then Aradna. Mighty Paul.
I think that's an Australian thing because my wife is very much like Mona. They give you that thing where if they're silent long enough, you think you already fucked up. So you're like, okay, what did I really do? Like they give you that look like. But you know, to be honest, with you, one
terrifying.
of the things.
What do you think, Emmanuel? I was going to say there's an Aussie in there.
It's terrifying, man. Oh, especially. Then no comment. It's like you literally think that your whole life has ended there and then, and you have to ask the question, what did I do? And the worst part about it is when they look back at you and as though to say, you don't know what you did. What is wrong with you? That's the worst part. It's the look. There's no words. It's just,
But Emmanuel, to be fair, she's actually thinking you're an idiot. You don't know what you did.
Yeah.
Women think that men are hairy women, meaning if you do something in her mind logically, why would he just do that? Does he not know? And you actually don't know.
A few times I've actually responded back with, look, I'm an idiot. I have no idea what happens in this world. I am stupid. I'm an idiot. And I know you're thinking that, so please explain it to me like I'm a stupid idiot. Right? I would actually say that to the person.
Yeah.
Andrew.
So I'm a little bit surprised because in my mind, the first thing that goes into the foundation of a good relationship, of a relationship that works, is the assumption of a positive intent. So no matter what happens, you assume positive intent, and then you try to figure out if something doesn't make sense, if something doesn't work, you talk it out.
Yeah, but what happens when you're having a bad day or the world basically sucks right now?
Well,
when you're right.
Or when you're right.
and their opinion is wrong. When you're right and their opinion is wrong.
Well, remember, hairy men are hairy women, which means they're definitely wrong because the way we think, anything they say is wrong. So now it totally makes sense.
All right.
Andrew, you can't win that one. Just know it.
Let's try. Radna, I was just wondering real quick because I interrupted you with your guy because you're going through some roller coaster rides right now, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. So you know, I'm listening to these reactions, especially what Emmanuel's saying about that look. And it's like, how did you not know that this is what you did? So, I mean, I was mad at him because he forgot that I was driving my mom up from Durban to Johannesburg, it took us around 8 hours because it was peak season, you know, with the festive season and all of that. And I had only gotten around 2 hours of sleep the night before. And so I was like asleep, trying to keep myself awake during this drive. And I had told him the entire week I'm driving back home on Saturday. And he didn't message me all day on Saturday to even ask, like, how was the drive? Are you okay? Nothing. And I didn't speak to him until like Monday. And he was like, what is going on? And I was like, I kind of lost it with him. And I felt so bad because he said, oh yeah, I know you said Saturday, but I forgot that it was Saturday on Saturday. So it was silly, and I just felt bad afterwards. So
you gonna keep that guy?
So here's the thing. Yeah. So Aradna, you can confirm this. As women, we would be empathetic and nurturing and make sure that the friend is checked in on, or the boyfriend is checked in, or whatever it is, you're going to care for that person. Men don't think like that in that situation. He probably did forget it was Saturday. And that's, if he says it, it's probably true.
And I know that he did. Yeah, I know he wasn't lying. So
So we as women project we'll never forget that nurturing moment onto the guy and expect him to apply by our rules.
Doesn't happen.
He probably authentically forgot.
Okay, here's the next one. Next one is this. If you ever notice when it comes to brands, I'm going to take this on the business level, brands that are predictable and consistent, you really admire, okay? Regardless if you even like the product, like McDonald's. I don't care if you love or hate McDonald's, wherever you're at in the world, you know McDonald's is always going to be the same. So here in Dubai, what do? We went and got an ice cream cone. It was just as good as the one in LA or in New York or in Phuket. McDonald's is always the same. It's predictable and consistent, okay? It's not the highest quality, but think about all brands that are out there that are predictable and consistent. Well, your relationship needs to be predictable and consistent. You go, oh my God, that sounds so boring. Well, but it's not. Sandy loves that she can predict I'm going to do this, this, and this. And if I'm not, then I'm inconsistent and it's erratic. It's almost like, what's going on with you? You're insane.
He gets one of these.
So yeah, you do. So your relationship, another one right here, is predictable. Is it? On your professional side and business. If you have an unpredictable relation, like Sammy knows that, like Sammy and I have worked together. We've been working together, Sammy. I'm not sure if you know this, for like 9 years. Isn't that crazy? 9 years. I know exactly what to predict out of you, and you're consistent, and you know the same thing. You know what I need to perform the best. We have a great professional relationship. We actually do. My last relationship, which many of you know, was it was consistently unpredictable, meaning I didn't know. It's like, what person are you today? Great. Oh my gosh. Okay.
That was the last relationship.
Not you. No. Well, have you done this?
Emmanuel laughs.
Andy's a saint. You're a goddess.
How about you? I mean, have you had relationships that were inconsistent or totally unpredictable?
Oh, for sure. Those never work out.
But they don't.
Yeah. I mean, now, like he said, if it's consistently unpredictable, that's fine. But if it's not, and it's just unpredictable, period, it's all over the place, that's a tough one.
You know, and I hate to, oh God, I'm going to put myself into a really deep hole right on this one. There's a hot and crazy chart that's out there. I'm not sure if you've ever seen it. Okay. And it basically says if the girl is super, super hot, she's probably crazy, right? You probably have seen this. Or she's a unicorn. Okay, I got a unicorn. Thank God. But same thing with guys, when they're like really great looking, they're conceited, they're inconsistent, they don't show up. So there's something with this pattern of people at a certain level that don't perform well in a relationship because they don't seem to care about being consistent or predictable. I love that I can predict you.
You can.
I know when you're going to get hangry. I know that I got to do something before that happens. Otherwise, it's not going to be good for anyone, including the world. You love that. Here you go. So question, Jennifer, you're new in your relationship. Is your man predictable?
He is predictably unpredictable, but in a stable way. Everything changes all the time, and I know it's going to change all the time. He doesn't do time. So I can't predict when he's going to go to sleep. He's an artist and musician, so he goes to sleep whenever, but I know the schedule of 1 or 2 days in advance. So I know when he's maybe, but it's predictably unpredictable. If he does something totally crazy, like go off to another state without me, I'd be like, what? You went somewhere? What? So it's not like that. It's just very stable and very exciting because it changes every day.
That's the life of an artist.
Exactly.
Angie, 42 years. Is your man predictable? Is your relationship predictable?
Very predictable at this age, yeah. After 40 years, yes.
But that's
I know
good.
when to keep fighting.
Yeah, you keep fighting, but you know when I'll tell you when it becomes unpredictable, and it kind of sucks, and I hate to throw this up, is health.
Yeah.
When someone starts to not feel right or feel inconsistent on the way they are.
But you can actually predict that.
Yeah, because if they
crazy,
start
but
eating shit all the time, if
Yeah.
they start doing things
they're
that,
not working out,
Yeah,
they're
it-
not maintaining their health, they're doing things that are detrimental to their health, you can predict
it's
that's
gonna
gonna
get
be the
bad.
outcome.
So if you're dating somebody that likes to drink, somebody that likes to smoke, somebody, they're eventually going to be predictably inconsistent with their health. So it's a long-term investment on this one, right? Okay, here's the next one. You still like to plan for the future. How many relationships, and I've noticed this with older people, they stop talking about the future, they talk about the past, they reminisce. And if you ever notice that generally at that point in time, it's like they're not seeing the future anymore. It's like, oh, when we were young, when we did this, and all it is, it's looking at photo albums, and it's not like, hey, we're going to go off and take new photos. We're going to go do this. I have a couple I know that they've been married. They're in their mid 80s now, and they plan 3 trips a year. They go to extreme locations, and they've learned to use their iPhones, and they take classes, and it's so refreshing to see that. And then they're on Facebook, they share pictures on Facebook, and they're in their 80s.
Mhm.
So it's like they still plan the future. So I'm wondering, Angie, you are in a very challenging part of the world. Zimbabwe is challenging. And you literally have to
Yes.
plan your future. You can't reminisce. You have to plan your future because survival is about planning, isn't it?
It is, but oh. Are you
Like her
there?
man,
Sorry.
unpredictable. There she is.
Yes, you can plan to a point, but they change the goalpost all the time. So you have to be able to adjust. So you can't sweat the small stuff. You can't sweat the small stuff. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You move on.
Here, I want to do this.
You know, I get very frustrated with trying to find food for the people.
But I'm talking about your relationship with your man. You're planning futures with your man. Yes, that's important. I did this right here where it says you're planning for the future. Here's a bunch of, we only have 15 minutes left. Which ones do you want to pick?
Ooh, the next one's good.
You like that one? Go
Yeah,
ahead,
I
say
like
it.
the next one. When arguments arise, you always fight fair.
This is let me tell you, wait, I have to tell you about my last relationship.
Low blows are not right.
Well, this is what my last one, and it was one of the biggest problems in my life, and you know this, I told you. She would go, I'm leaving. I'm literally leaving. I'm going. And it's like, what? Why would you? So wait, what are you talking about? And
That's the worst.
And it was almost like to where I am going to cut off all forms of communication right now and go. It's like, well, we're not resolving anything. And it actually scared me to death all the time.
That's why she did it.
I know. It was
That's a low blow. That's an evil
But
tactic.
have you fought unfair in the past?
Yeah, when I was completely ignorant to how to be in a relationship, and those clearly didn't work.
Like,
out.
what would be a low blow?
I would threaten mom. I'm gonna leave.
Okay, that was it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm
gonna tell your mom.
I'm gonna tell your mom. What?
Yeah, I was friends.
What are you, like 7 years old?
Yeah, well, it worked back in the day.
God. Jeez, I don't know. Janae, I don't even know. Are you in a relationship, Janae? You are. And have you ever done a low blow in your 3 years? Have you done a low blow in your arguments? No. Good. It's easy. How about you, Eddie?
I can't hear you.
Oh,
Unmute yourself.
there you go. Come on, Janae. There she goes. Hey, Janae. No low blows?
No, not in this relationship.
Good job.
So it's you really.
I learned.
Yeah.
I learned. So no, not this relationship.
Good job. How about you, Eddie? Low blows, or does he throw low blows at you, or do you throw low blows at him?
I don't do low blows, but he does. He cuts, and I don't know where it comes from, but I'm like, okay. because I know that I can go dark, but I don't with him. I don't.
So what do you do when that happens? Do you afterwards bring it up saying that wasn't necessary, or why did you say that? How do you challenge that situation? Because
Well, most importantly, you have to have a dialogue about it and let them know what is not okay. What are your boundaries when it comes to low blows? Some people don't care. So like, that's funny. That was a good one, right? But if it's hurting you or affecting you, you have to be open and say, when you say these things, it hurts me. And you have to tell them what your boundaries are. The thing is about those low blows it's just threats. People are saying this because they're hurt.
Yeah.
They don't know how to handle their own emotions. They don't know how to deal with their own issues. They haven't done any work on themselves. So they're saying and doing these things to get a reaction from you.
kids do this a lot.
Kids,
Kids, yeah, they say
yeah,
things
exactly.
because they're trying to defend themselves and they haven't really learned the proper way of having discussions. I think in a relationship, so let's say you and I, we'd fight a lot, which we don't. I think we've fought in 2 years, maybe twice.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think of a board, like a wooden board, and every time you have an argument, it's like throwing a nail into it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the apology happens, you pull the nail out. The low blow is the hole that is not healed. So after a while, your board becomes cottage cheese.
Yeah.
You know, because that low blow it stays, it sticks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you would always go, you guys, what was that?
Undermining.
It is undermining. It is.
Yeah.
And it's very destructive over time because, man, you have a psych issue then after a while.
But that's also the part where you have to have your boundaries in place, because if you don't have any boundaries and you're going to allow those attacks to perforate you, then you're maintaining this relationship and you're permitting these low blows to happen.
Okay, here's one. It might be challenging for Jennifer because she's in a newer relationship. No, it's not a negative because it's probably not challenging for the Mannerings. And that is, you don't mind spending time apart. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
In a good relationship, it's like, I'm okay with it.
You need that.
And I want you to think in a professional relationship, when you're at that point in time with your team, your partner, and you go, all right, you're on your own, great. And you feel comfortable with that. You don't need to be around that person all the time because there's enough in that relationship to know where that other team member is going to go. Same thing in like Sammy's in Bali. Do I trust her? 1 trillion billion %. Because I know she's great on her own, but when she's there, she's 100% focused on her professional relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You actually say to me, go. I got to do stuff. Eddie, you raise your hand. Go ahead.
I think like all of 2020, the quarantine got to a lot of people's relationships because you saw each other all the time. And I travel a lot, just like everybody else. And I think it's good for your relationship because they think, I mean, when you're not there in that person's mind, they're working, they're doing something. But when they see you all the time, like, what are you doing? What are you working on? So I think travel in a part-time is very good. I really do. Not the travel in a part-time I'm doing right now, but real travel.
And the best feeling is when you come back and you walk in and you're excited to see that person. And you know you really own that when you walk in and they're not there. You're like,
Yep, that's true. Jennifer, 6 months in the relationship, but you understand, right? That apart, you're okay with it. You miss the person, but you're okay with it.
I mean, I've had relationships before. And so I think by this point, I'm more of I like to be by myself person anyway. So I like my own time by myself and we do our own things. So, I don't take every opportunity to go out with him. If he goes out to dinner and I'll be like, is that what's part of my diet this week? And then I'll be like, now go for it. I'm okay with missing the chances or like no FOMO, like I know he's coming back home. We already lived together. We lived together for the last 5 months. So our relationship moved really quickly. And we come together and we have the things that we share and we like to do our own thing and then have the parts where we come together and share, and we like having enough each day that we don't get bored. So I think by this point in maybe both of our lives, we understand the importance of it. And so we brought that in at the very beginning.
Oh, so I know that you two being the Mandarings are empty nesters now, which is a very it's interesting, right? Because you've had those kids around forever and now they're gone away. Is it are you relearning your relationship? Is it a different relationship without the kids? Was it challenging without the kids?
And is there more tickling?
Tickling?
I'll let you answer this one.
She doesn't like tickling. It usually ends up with a swift kick somewhere painful.
Yeah, don't tickle me.
But no, we actually thought, hi everyone, actually thought that being an empty nest would, I wasn't quite sure what it's going to be like, but it's actually been really good. Life's a lot simpler. It's actually really good.
Awesome.
After 21 years of worrying about what everyone's doing and always second guessing.
Everyone's like, are you gonna be okay? You know, you've like the kids growing up, and what are you gonna do? And I'm just like, I don't know, have my own life. Check ya.
Welcome to our world.
Daniel's cracking up. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing. Highly
Okay,
recommend.
here's a
Check them
couple
out now, even if they're not ready.
You guys, and I'm wondering, we have rituals. I think rituals in a relationship are very important. It was on the list. We have actually a ritual within a ritual that we've been doing a lot lately, and that is we love to share content together. We love to say, oh, we've either listened to that book together or that podcast together. So much so that we have to go to the gym because we got to stay in shape.
Because we eat a lot.
A lot of crap. Boy, do we eat crap. No. If there's a croissant that has not been tasted by us, it will find it.
Yeah.
We're croissant hunters. So what we do is, and right now it's Mandalorian, okay? It was Star Trek recently, and
Baby Yoda.
we get on the treadmill. She's over there because there's of course a treadmill in the middle that's not being used because of social distancing. Yeah. Sandy's on one treadmill, I'm in the other. We're going for 45 minutes and we hit start exactly on the same time of whatever we're watching. So we look at each other going, what? Right? And then we're back on the treadmill. Right?
This is funny because anyone listening to it.
That's great. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, what's going on with those two, right? It looks like we have Tourette's on the treadmill. But you know, it's like 600 calories, right? Yeah. A 45-minute something is 600 calories.
Yeah.
But that's our ritual, and it sounds funny, but when we don't do it,
yeah, it sucks when we don't do it.
It's like, but that's a ritual. We like to do breakfast 3 or 4 times a week. It's a
I was
ritual.
gonna say a day, but yeah.
3 or 4 times. We like rituals, and we like even documenting them for each other, where we will take a picture going, we're doing this again, but it's important. Mm-hmm. And I think rituals in anything, especially, you know, in my business in metal has done incredibly well. We have a daily stand-up. And what that means is every day except Monday, we do a half-hour meeting exactly at the same time with the team. And we stand up, and it's short, it's concise, it's to the point. And even if there's nothing to talk about business, it's personal, going, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm not feeling good here. We know it's predictable, consistent, and it's a ritual that really is important inside a relationship. Yeah. Sammy knows that. I think it's tonight. Tonight's your stand-up, right, Sammy? Yeah, today's Sammy's stand-up.
Yeah,
and
it's mine.
And Sammy knows it's a ritual. And so in both professional and personal, rituals are essential, right? All right, so let's do this. We're about to go. Let's do one last one. You get to pick the last one. Any of these that you want to hit real quick.
You hit all of them. These are repeats. I don't know that one. We're both willing to attend each other's needs.
Why is your lip so tight?
Say that again.
We're both willing to attend to each other's needs. My lips aren't tight.
Okay, let me show you.
Yes.
I always say there's 3 things that I'm going to give Sandy every day. I am going to hold her. I'm going
really
to
important.
hear her.
Snuggle time.
And I'm going to see her. Yeah. And those are for sure. I'm always going to attend those 3 needs. Those are so important. And I didn't realize that being seen is so important, not just being heard. Right. So I will promise that. And of course, the back massages, which she says I never give her, which I give her 5 times a day. For some reason, she becomes, oh my gosh. And that's it. Hey guys, I want to thank you for joining us. I think we somehow got Simon to do a once a month Metal Onward plus Freddie Ravel, and I'm hoping to get Mighty Paul and Eddie and a bunch of other people. This is open to the entire world, Metal Onward. It's on Mondays. We're really excited about that. Anything else top of mind for you? Watch our Instagram stories. We post so many things.
Oh my God, with your Instagram stories. Okay, dude, read the room. We're all in freaking lockdown over here. It is like, I'd love to live vicariously through you, but you know, steady on. I'm like, God damn it. I'm having such a good time. Ah!
You can come here. It's open.
It's open. Come here. You guys are empty nesters. You could come here. It's super cheap to fly here, by the way. You could fly here for under $300 round trip.
That's amazing. Yeah,
Yep.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Today, look at, he's showing one of our Insta stories right now. So today's journey is very interesting. We've been here. Our visas expire today.
Yeah, we have.
Oh.
Wow, been here a long
So
time.
our visas, and so we have to go reapply our visas. And it sounds so funny. The way we want to get there is how?
We're going to take the tram to the metro.
Yeah, and it sounds stupid, but we love doing this because
It's faster than taking a car.
and we're gonna go, and then we're gonna go to our favorite restaurant, which we haven't been to in about a week and a half.
Yeah, so we'll show you more food.
It's in the mall. It's in a mall, and
Oh
it's
my God.
we love this place.
But you know what's
Food's
interesting?
amazing.
So I used to never think like I was like, ew, I hate when people show their food pictures. I don't want to see their food and it's all the same. Well, when we do show our food, restaurants and locals here tell us not only what we're eating, but where else to go. So a lot of the amazing places that we've eaten at are because we're sharing on Instagram and people are like, oh, you like that? You got to go here and you got to go there and you got to try
Oh,
this
that's
place.
awesome.
Incredible spot.
It's crazy how much information we get from Instagram from people that have been here or hear what we should experience. And it's been a lot of fun. So any suggestions from you? But I want to thank all of you for hanging out with us. I know it's some people in the States, it's late. It's awesome to have you. We'll be back next week. And thank you so much for joining us. We're going to say goodbye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.